What's up, people? Welcome back to yet another one. In today's video or training workout, as I would say, as you can see, primary is going to be with sandbag. This workout is kind of like called, I would say, kind of like shoulder to squat, then to shoulder, kind of like vice versa. So, kind of like is the challenge over here is obviously, yeah, you can see me fell over there. Disappointed, but anyway, still learning to handle sandbags. I would say more importantly on this workout is the maneuvering of the sandbag, and then kind of like being able to cope with that, which is kind of like difficult, easy to explain, but difficult to actually take action to. So with this workout over here is like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So 30 seconds, I'll pick up the sandbag, put it to shoulder, then to squat position, and then to the next shoulder, and then squat again. So trying to get as many as I can for like 30 seconds, and then take 30 seconds rest. Main purpose, like I said over here, is still strength training because the sandbag is, I believe that one is about 60 kg, so close to body weight. So like I mentioned, probably another video, I'm about 73 kg, so around there. So close to, or kind of like close to body weight. So some of the sets, I would say like a first couple of sets, I did manage to get some good results. So probably like 3 to 4 reps on in between those 30 seconds. Obviously, I didn't want to include the rest time, but you guys know 30-second rest time. You can have like a timer for that one. Probably after set 5 around there. So the total volume was about 8 sets. Obviously, if it feels easy for you, you can do 10 sets or kind of like 12. So depending on capabilities and obviously your tank, if you can do more, go for it. For me, I've done sets of 8, and then towards like 5, 6, around 7 set. Kind of like was starting to gas out on that one because obviously, again, my background in conditioning, not really the best. So trying to get the hang of it. One thing to keep in mind is, like I mentioned, probably I'm going to mention this video and probably every other video I will conclude in sandbag training, is sandbags, they are quite hard to train with, so they're unforgiving. So keeping your brace and kind of like staying focused on what you're doing. So kind of like bracing, get the sandbag in, do the movement, execute, and then kind of like finish off the movement is key. The moment you kind of like trying to like hesitate, or you trying to like kind of like drag the weight in a way, I would say, is it ain't gonna result one in a good obviously movement. So you basically making this more difficult to your body and to yourself. And kind of like, yeah, if you're aware to recover from, let's say, the sandbags the sandbags falling, and then you're trying to recover it, like the first set that you've seen over there, it's just most of the times is impossible, or again it's going to be really difficult to recover. So might as well do it, like execute the movement properly. Obviously I'm learning, so my bracing and everything, trying to like time everything with my bracing, the movement, kind of like the explosiveness, obviously when picking up the sandbag and then trying to put it on the shoulder. That's something you can work with, lighter sandbags. So for me in the beginning, I had a 40 kg with my other fillable sandbags. So I kind of like trying to get the hang of that, and then kind of like added weights onwards. So now the other one is like about 50 kg. But yeah, you kind of like, it's more like trial and error in the beginning, trying to get the hang of it and get a feel for it, especially if you've never done it before, and then you'll be all been doing like most likely for barbell or kind of like dumbbells, those type of weights, maybe some machines, at the gym or something like that. This is more of like a physical, and then it will kind of like shock your body in a different way rather than your normal, barbell or overhead press, or your normal squats, deadlifts, and all of that. So that lasted about 10 minutes for this workout, roughly, give or take. And as for the next workout, which is going to come out in a minute or kind of a few seconds, I would say, this one is a little bit more interesting in terms of you can be creative with it. In this instance, I'm only using one sandbag. If you got more sandbags, you can go ahead and like use like 2 or 3 sandbags, whatever the case might be. Obviously, if you're on the budget, for instance, I'm doing here with only 1 sandbag. It is pliable, so there's no problem with that. So with this one, I'm trying to lap myself, so it's 3 rounds. And then what's going to be is you run a 50-meter course with the sandbag, run 50 meters back, to the spot, and then sprint back to the sandbag. Then do a 30-meter sprint with a sandbag, or sprint, kind of like trying to run as fast as you can with the sandbag. Obviously, not trying to fall. Come back and then do another sprint backwards to the sandbag, 45-meter sprint again with the sandbag, and then come back. And then you're trying to lap yourself 3 rounds with that one. In the beginning, I think for me, the first 15 meters, so the first lap, that was kind of like smooth, went fast, solid. Kind of like during the second one, so doing the sprint, coming back, and then trying to do the 30-meter run with the sandbag, was trying to kind of like losing my touch on there, and then kind of like 45, it just basically killed me over there. Again, conditioning is key in this part, obviously strength as well, so because you are carrying heavy weights. In this instance, I think I did it with a 50 kg, so I went a little bit lighter because I'm trying to get used to carrying like X amount of weight, and then for X amount of distance, which I think it is intense in a way, obviously, because you are concentrating on strength, but your conditioning again. So those 2 key factors which are vital in any strongman training. I think this is the second lap. Trying to like be fast, execute properly, don't waste time. One key tip over here is I like to brace. For a moment, I pick the sandbag, take a deep breath, pick up the sandbag, and then trying to hold out as much as I can with the breath, staying like braced up. Because the moment you kind of like let go of your brace, and then your core gets like loose, I would say, if that makes any sense, you tend to like trying to like lean over, and then you're stressing out more of your lower back, which obviously that makes life more difficult. So trying to like brace as much as you can for the amount of distance. Obviously, if you do need to breathe, exhale shortly, and then kind of like take in exhale and inhale, kind of like short amount of breaths, so that way you kind of like maintain your core active, so you don't lose your brace. If you can hold your whole breath for the whole run, then do it, but obviously you're human. So me, first 50 meters I'm able to do that, then with the 30 meters I'm kind of like struggling over there, so I'm kind of like exhaling and inhaling, kind of like short breaths, trying to keep my core active as much as possible. So coming back over here, it is intensive. It's gonna suck in a way, if I would say, because with every sandbag training, it's gonna suck. It ain't easy. So being is that it is trying to manipulate your types of sandbags you have. Ideally, a available one would be I think a better case scenario over here, in my opinion, because you can kind of like trial and error, so you can try to like do the exercise. If you think it's too much, you can take out some sand, so maybe like 5 kg worth of sand, or maybe like even more. You don't want to make it too light, that's not gonna like stress you out. So for me, like being 50 kg as it is, it was kind of like alright, but maybe if it was like I'm trying to push my lap times faster, maybe I can like try to like make it 45 kg, and then trying to push it more with the time. It ain't gonna be as much of as like being heavy, because you're taking out 5 kg, it is 5 kg. Whereas if you only got 1 sandbag that's like kind of like X amount of size, and then they don't really work out as like once you take sand out, because they kind of like become like all soft and stuff, like in this case with my fillable bag, because the fillable bag downside of them is they kind of like tend to like become loose over the time. So one tip that I will show in the next video is kind of like taping them up, and then keep it at more the tightness of the bag, so it stays like kind of like in overall round shape, and it doesn't become like saggy. That was the video, guys. Hope you guys like the video. If you like the video, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. If anyone does work out with sandbags, I appreciate the support. In terms of times, if anyone were to ask, I think the first round, I done like 2 minutes 10 seconds. Second round was about like 2 minutes like 3 seconds, and then this last round I trying to like push it, and then I think I got like 1 minute like 50 something seconds, like 55 seconds if I can't remember. But yeah, you can obviously time and then trying to like do better next time. That was the video, guys. I'll see ya in the next one.